Most men over 40 do not realize their accessories are quietly ruining otherwise good outfits. I know that because I got this wrong myself for years. The clothes are usually fine, the fit is decent, the wardrobe is solid, but the overall look still does not land, and most guys cannot figure out why. 9 times out of 10, it comes down to the accessories. The watch, the belt, the bag, the shoes, the socks. These are the details that either pull everything together or quietly work against every good decision you already made. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 of the most common accessory mistakes men over 40 make in everyday style, what to do instead, and why those details matter so much. And stay with me through mistake number 7, because that is the one most men never see coming. Once you notice it, you will start seeing it on otherwise good outfits all the time. Alright, let's get into it. Mistake 1, the watch that's trying too hard. Most men over 40 already own a watch, and for many of them, it is making the outfit look more forced than it should. For a long time, and I fell for this too, men thought a bigger, bolder watch meant more presence. Today, it usually does the opposite. If a watch is working hard to be noticed, it becomes the loudest thing in the outfit. What does that look like in real life? It usually shows up the same way every time. A case that is too large a dial, crowded with details, and a finish so polished, it catches attention before you do. Together, those choices turn the watch into the centerpiece of the outfit. That is noise. What holds up is simpler. A clean dial, a proportional case, a leather strap in brown or black, or a brushed metal bracelet without too much going on. For most men, 38 to 41 millimeters is a good range. The goal is to anchor the outfit, not dominate it. After 40, a great watch does not need to announce itself. It just needs to make everything else look right. That same principle runs through the rest of this video. Next is the one detail sitting at the center of almost every outfit, the belt. Mistake 2, a belt that's saying the wrong thing. The belt is probably the most overlooked accessory in a man's wardrobe. Most guys treat it as purely functional, but it sits right at the center of the outfit. If it is doing too much visually, it affects how everything else reads. The most common version is the oversized buckle, often with a logo or emblem built into it. That may have communicated something in another era, but on a man in his 40s or 50s today, it reads as loud rather than confident. It adds noise exactly where the outfit needs to stay calm. The same goes for logo-heavy belts. If the brand name is the first thing people notice, the whole thing shifts from taste to effort. Leather quality matters more than most men realize. Bonded leather may look acceptable at first, but once it starts cracking, the whole outfit feels cheaper. What works is simple. Real leather, a clean buckle in a brushed or matte finish, and a width around 30 to 35 millimeters. Dark brown chocolate or black. Keep brown with brown and black with black. A belt should finish the outfit, not interrupt it. Next is the one accessory that sits directly on your face, sunglasses. Mistake 3. Sunglasses that belong on someone younger. Sunglasses matter because they sit on your face. They shape how people read your eyes, your expression, and your whole presence. When the frame is wrong, the effect is immediate. And on your face, immediate matters. The mistake I see most often is chasing trends. Shield lenses, aggressive shapes, tiny frames, unusual tints. But for a man who wants to look calm and put together in everyday life, they usually read as trying too hard. And after 40, trying too hard ages you faster than almost anything. Logo placement matters too. A large brand name on the temple makes the purchase feel more about the label than the design. Men who dress well rarely need to advertise what they are wearing. The frames that hold up are the classics: aviators, wayfarers, subtle round frames, restrained brow lines, black tortoiseshell brown or gunmetal frames, gray brown or green lenses. Fit matters. Too small looks off. Too large looks forced. The right sunglasses make you look settled. The wrong ones make you look like you are still figuring it out. After 40, calm beats trendy almost every time. Quick check-in before we move on. How many of these first 3 hit home for you? Drop a 1, 2, or 3 in the comments. 4 through 6 catch men off guard the most, so keep watching. Mistake 4, the wallet that's past its prime. I know a wallet in a style video. Stay with me because it matters more than it sounds. Most men know the version I mean. A bifold that has lived in the back pocket for years, packed so full, it barely closes. Old receipts, unused cards, loose bills. It bulges through the trousers and looks like it belongs to another decade. Then there is the condition issue. Cracked at the fold, worn at the corners, lining starting to separate. Most men stop noticing that on their own wallet, but other people do. What they register is simple. This is a man who has stopped paying attention. This matters because you pull your wallet out in front of other people all the time. At the register, at dinner, in a meeting. It is one of the most visible accessories a man carries and one of the least considered. A slim bifold or a good leather card holder fixes this fast. It holds what you actually need and says something quiet and considered about how you handle the details. At this stage of life, you do not need to carry your whole history in your back pocket. Now let's get to the bag, because this is where a lot of good outfits start to lose their shape. Mistake 5, a bag that undermines everything else. Most men over 40 treat the bag as a purely functional decision, but because it is visible the entire time you wear it, the wrong one can quietly unravel an otherwise solid look. The most common version is the oversized technical backpack. The problem is not that a backpack is always wrong. The problem is when the bag speaks a different language from the rest of the outfit. A fitted button-down dark trousers, clean leather shoes, and then a shiny technical bag with straps and mesh everywhere. One part of the outfit says composed and intentional. The bag says something completely different. The same goes for bags with large visible logos, bags that have gone soft and shapeless, or shiny synthetic materials that look cheap. If the bag looks louder, more technical, or cheaper than the rest of the outfit, it is probably the wrong bag for that look. What works is simpler than most men think. A structured canvas tote, a slim leather crossbody, or a brief bag with clean lines and no visual clutter. No dangling straps, no competing logos, no shiny surface fighting the rest of the outfit. These are not trendy pieces. They are easier to live with and easier to style well. The right bag makes you look like someone who has his life organized. That is harder to project than most men think. Now let's talk about shoes, because this next mistake catches a lot of men who think they are already dressing well. Mistake 6, shoes that don't match the spirit of the outfit. Most men think the shoe mistake is wearing a bad shoe. More often, it is wearing a good shoe in the wrong context. The most common version is a very athletic sneaker under an otherwise composed smart casual outfit. A good shirt, dark jeans, maybe even a blazer, and then running shoes underneath. The outfit speaks one language, and the shoes speak another. That is usually the fastest way to tell the shoes do not belong. The reverse happens too. High-gloss dress shoes with relaxed, casual clothing. That reads just as off, only in the other direction. Condition matters too. A shoe that is badly scuffed, over-creased, or worn down at the heel tells the wrong story about everything around it. A shoe in decent condition that fits the outfit will do more for you than an expensive shoe that has been neglected. For men in their 40s and 50s living in smart casual territory, loafers do a lot of work. Chelsea boots and clean derbies do too. If a sneaker genuinely belongs, keep it minimal and quiet. The standard is simple. The shoe should speak the same language as everything above it. Shoes do not need to be the most interesting thing you are wearing. They just need to be the right thing. We are about halfway through. Which one are you rethinking right now? The watch, the belt, the sunglasses, the wallet, the bag, or the shoes? Leave it in the comments, because mistake 7 is the one most men do not see coming. Mistake 7. The socks that undo everything. Socks. I know how that sounds. But this one is real, and it ruins more otherwise good outfits than most men realize. The setup is familiar. A good, smart, casual outfit, and then white athletic socks. The kind that belong in the gym, not under loafers or leather boots. Socks sit at the seam between trouser and shoe, and if that line is wrong, people feel it immediately. Everything above it may be working, but the socks break the whole line. That is a small mistake with a very visible effect. There is also the novelty sock problem. Bold patterns had their moment, but for a quieter, more considered style socks that demand attention at the ankle usually undercut everything above them. The outfit should be the story, not the socks. Condition matters here too. Faded socks, socks that slide down, socks thinning at the heel or toe. Experienced eyes notice that immediately. Small things compound. The fix is easy. Muted tones like navy, charcoal, dark brown, black, olive, or burgundy. A cotton or merino blend that keeps its shape. Mid-calf or over-the-calf length with no skin showing when you sit down. Subtle texture is fine. A lot of strong outfits fall apart at the very last detail. Do not let that detail be the socks. And that leads to a bigger mistake. Mistake 8, too many things competing at once. This one is different. It is not about one bad item. It is about too many good items showing up at once. And this is where a lot of good dressers lose the plot. Picture this: a substantial watch, a bracelet, a ring, a chain, a noticeable belt, and a logo forward bag. Each piece may be fine on its own. Together, they compete for attention. What comes across is not confidence. It is effort. This happens a lot to men who have built up good things over time and want to wear all of them. That instinct is understandable, but style lives in deciding which one or two pieces do the work today and letting everything else recede. That is why this style works. The pieces can be excellent, but none of them should be announcing themselves. The goal is ease, not display. Here's the practical rule. Your watch and belt are usually the baseline. Beyond that, be intentional. If you're at 3 or 4 visible accessories, take one off. The outfit will usually be stronger for it. If you do not know which one to remove, it is usually the piece asking for the most attention. After 40, the goal is not presence through volume. It is presence through precision. Now let's get to the principle that cuts across everything on this list. Mistake 9, materials that read as cheap. This may be the most foundational mistake on the list because it applies to the watch, the belt, the wallet, the bag, and the shoes. This is not about price. And if you miss this, the rest of the list will only help so much. There are well-made accessories at reasonable prices. The problem is choosing materials and finishes that read as cheap. Bonded leather is the easiest example. It may look acceptable when it is new, but within months, it starts cracking and peeling. The same goes for fake leather hollow hardware polished to a harsh shine, stiff synthetic watch straps, and shiny nylon bags that age badly. What these materials have in common is the signal they send. They do not read as practical. They read as careless, and that affects how the whole outfit is perceived. The answer is not necessarily to spend more overall. It is to put the same budget into fewer items made from honest materials. Real leather, better hardware, and surfaces that age with character instead of falling apart. Those choices communicate quality without a label doing the work. Better materials make the whole outfit feel more considered. And that brings us to the last mistake, which explains several of the others. Mistake 10, buying for the trend instead of your actual life. This one is different. It is not about one accessory. It is about the decisions that lead to the wrong ones in the first place, and it creates a lot of the others. If you consume style content, you are constantly being shown things presented as essential right now. Sometimes they are good, but the question most men fail to ask is simple. Does this actually fit my life? Not the aspirational version of your life, not the life of the guy in the video, your real wardrobe, your real routine, the places you actually go, and the way you actually dress. Ignore that, and you end up buying accessories that are hard to use, rarely worn, and dated faster than expected. The men who consistently look good over time usually run a simple filter before adding anything. 3 questions. Will I wear this regularly? Does it work with most of what I already own? Will I still think this looks good in 3 years? If the answer feels shaky, that usually tells you everything. If the honest answer to all 3 is yes, it is probably worth it. If even one is no, put it back. That is discipline. Over time, that discipline is what builds a wardrobe that actually works. The best accessory is not the one trending right now. It is the one you will still reach for 3 years from now. 10 mistakes, and the through line is simple. After 40, style usually falls short, not because you are missing something, but because a handful of small details are working against everything else you got right. That is really the point. You do not need more to look better. You need fewer things that are more right. If something in here hit close to home, leave a comment and tell me which mistake men over 40 get wrong most often, or tell me what you quietly stopped wearing once you realized it was not working. If you like this kind of practical, detail-focused style advice for men over 40, subscribe. And remember, after 40, style lives or dies in the details. Thanks for watching.